Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Second, beginning of the second or the end really of the first week of the year. How's it going? How was your first week? I just posted in the community yesterday. I gave this week a B minus. How about you guys? I'd love to hear how your week has been and what you would grade your week. Um, yeah, B minus for me. So let's see. We'll just wait for everyone to catch up with the fact that we are live and online. Good morning, everybody. It's January in Northern Vermont, and you have to work really hard to be in a good mood every day. Okay, we're going to talk this morning. We're going to go back to basics a little bit this morning because based on the conversations that I had with clients this week, people are forgetting to do things like protect their peace and start their day off with some kind of, protocol for themselves to get themselves centered. And we call it bookending your days here on the Unbreakable Wisdom Show. And I feel like, first of all, there's just a lot, right? We're not going to address any of what's going on in the world because it will just lead to conversations that we don't need to take our time having. So there's a lot going on. There was a lot that happened this week in the world. And I think it's really important to highlight that although we can't control what's going on out there, we can very much control what's going on over here within ourselves, right? So first thing is, I spent some time last weekend with the Women in Work study for 2025, and I was a little bit taken aback and sad by some of the traction that women have lost in the workplace in 2025. And so heading into 2026, it's really important your presence and your power and how you're showing up and clear communication, whether you're in a career, whether you're in a job or you're an entrepreneur, you're a small business person. It's really important that you have a plan for, how you're going to show up, be heard, be seen, get a voice and seat at the table, whatever you're doing, whether it's a PTA meeting or in your relationship or in your business. So I created a master class that I'm going to do on January 28th, and it's free. And if you go to, I went back to Linktree because I can link all of the things, right? So if you go to the link in the bio of the Facebook page, or you type in the link that's under here, the Linktree link, or you go to Instagram and you click the link in the bio, you'll be able to register for the free masterclass. I also recommend that if you're struggling to figure out a plan for 2026, or you're having trouble like getting your mindset right or getting your attitude right or figuring out what habits are going to be good for you in 2026, I would really encourage you to go and take Prosperity 101. It's a course that I built and recorded, and it's on Teachable. And you can get 25% off if you enter the code SHOW at checkout in all capital letters. SHOW, SHOW. We'll give you 25% off the course. It's only $97 to begin with. Go to the Linktree link. There's a button there that says Take Prosperity 101. So if you need a refresher on all the things we talk about here on the show, the things we've been talking about in the last 12 years, or you want to take the course for the first time and learn more about the power of your thought and your mindset and how that's going to affect your life, all the things, I highly recommend taking Prosperity 101, and you can enter the code SHOW in all capital letters and it will save you 25%. Okay. So sign up for the masterclass too. If you're a female and you're in business and you have a career, all the things, you definitely want to take this masterclass. Again, link in the bio on Facebook, a link in the bio on Instagram, and this link right here, the Linktree link, will now get you to all the places. It'll get you to the free community. You can take Prosperity 101, use the code SHOW for 25% off. Sign up for the free masterclass, all the things. All right. So here's what's really important right now in the world: you protecting your peace. And what that means is that you're taking time every morning when you get up, you have some kind of protocol, some kind of habit that you're making for yourself where you are taking that time to be really intentional about checking in with how you're feeling, being intentional about setting up how you want the day to be, pulling your energy in, getting focused, getting centered. Really, really important. I have had several clients this week that have all kinds of things going on in their businesses and their lives. And when I said, are you bookending your days? Are you taking that time in the morning? The answer was no. I forgot. I'm not doing it. I cannot express how important this is. It's really important because otherwise you're just at effect of all the stuff that's coming at you all the time. If you don't take that time for yourself and you do whatever, it could be drinking coffee, it could be meditating, it could be journaling, it could be prayer, it could be reading affirmations, it could be reading something that inspires you, it could be writing down your intentions for the day, it could be pulling an oracle card, it could be reading the Bible, like whatever works for you. I'm not telling you what to do. I am simply telling you to do something. Do something. Have some kind of practice for yourself that you start the day with that gets you centered and focused. I can't express enough how important this is. Hi, Beth. Hi, Anastasia. Hi, everybody. If you are not in control of your peace, you are not in control of your personal power, and then you are like a ping pong ball pinging all over the table, depending on what the hell is happening in the world and what's happening all around you. And then you've lost all your power. Your personal power, Allie, your personal power comes from your words, your thoughts, your actions, and your peace. Okay? So if the world is falling apart, which this week it definitely looks out there like it's kind of falling apart, you don't have to be affected by that personally. And what I mean is you don't have to react to all of the things. First of all, I highly recommend not spending time with your head in the media because that's just going to send you into a frenzy, right? So don't do that. I mean, stay aware. Don't put your head in the sand. Don't spend a lot of time doom scrolling and listening to media and all of that. Okay, your time is better served for you to control your own thoughts, your own words, your own feelings, your own direction. All right, remember, your emotional set point is your attraction point. So if you're all effed up and you're pinging all over the place and you're like have your head on CNN or Fox or whatever the hell you're watching and you're just a wreck, what do you think is going to happen? Nothing that you want. Zero that you want is going to happen. If you are taking that time every day to protect your peace, you are protecting your power, and you are enabling yourself to respond versus react. You are enabling yourself to see what's happening in the world, or see what's happening in your checkbook, or see what's happening in your kids' life, whatever is happening. When you are grounded and you have your peace, you are able to see what's going on, you are able to take the pause, and then you are able to respond the way that you want to and the way that is powerful for you. When you are simply a reaction, you are literally like a ping pong ball in between the paddles on the table of the world and other people, and you are pinging and flinging all over the place. Nothing you want in your business or your life or your career or your family, nothing that you want is going to come from you living like a reaction. And the best way to solve this is to bookend your days and learn how to protect your peace. Again, if you need a refresher in this or you want to learn more about this, I highly suggest you take Prosperity 101. It's a course I recorded for you over the summer. If you go to the link in the bio and the link in Instagram or the link below and you click it and you use the code SHOW, SHOW, you will save 25% on that course. Also recommend signing up for the masterclass that's free. Also, you can get to that from the link. I'm going to do a masterclass on January 28th where I'm talking to women about power, presence, how they're showing up in their life, their business, their career, and how to make sure that you get a seat at the table and that your voice is heard. Okay. So these are all important things because what I see is a lot of reaction out there. I see a lot of people reacting as if they have no power to do anything else. And that just isn't true. It just isn't true. It's not true that you have no power to change because what you can change is you. And when you change, the things around you change. And then you are able to help other people to change. And you are able to help other people to get a hold of themselves. Also, I can't stress enough how important connection is right now. Connection with other women and other people. Spend time in 2026 building your connections and building your network. As a woman, your power is also from your network and who you know and who you can introduce to each other. The way that we're going to orchestrate and create change in the world is going back to basics, how it used to be when people were helping people, when people in communities were helping each other. And we weren't relying on the outside world to solve our problems. We have to solve our own problems, okay? Because the world out there is not doing a very good job. So we can do a better job. Women can do a better job. And there are some men that watch this show. And if they're watching this show, they're good guys. They can do a better job. We can all do a better job. Your peace, your habits, your daily practice. Can't stress enough how important this is. Let's talk also about your words. I posted on Instagram this morning. Florence Scovel-Shin says your words are your wand. What that means, and for those of you that watch the show all the time, I'm repeating myself. However, based on what I'm seeing out in the world and hearing from some of you, like this bears repeating over and over again. Your words are your wand. What that means is they are the building blocks that bring forward your future. So every time you open your mouth and say something, that is a brick that gets put on the road to the future. There is no just saying. If it came out of your mouth, it now has a certain amount of life. And it is now a building block in the foundation of what's next for you. I promise you that we are all, including me, saying things every day that we do not want to see more of. And I promise you that we could all, including me, do a better job at guarding our speech. What you speak about, you bring about. These are not like, you hear this stuff all the time. Okay? You hear this all the time. What you speak about, you bring about. Boss Babe had like a 7, what do you call that, carousel post the other day. She's even talking about it, about the power of your words. This is not old news, right? If you've studied any success, metaphysical, or prosperity principle from way, way back in the 1800s, this was the letter of the day. Watch what you're saying. Watch what's coming out of your mouth. First of all, when you say something, that evokes a feeling in you. When you think something and then you turn it into words, it brings a feeling in you, okay? And what does your feeling do? Your feeling is your emotional set point. How you feel is what you're attracting. So if you're babbling negative rhetoric, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to feel shitty. And what do you think you're going to attract? Shitty circumstances. This isn't rocket science. This is actually very simple, but it's also very difficult because it means that every time you open your mouth before you babble out some words, you better think about the impact of them. You better think about the impact of them. Because mostly what happens is people like look at what's going on their phone, they're looking at this, they're looking at something on their desk, and now they're like, oh my God. And then they're saying like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. Did you see what happened to her? Oh my God, did you see that? That isn't idle chatter. You're literally creating this thing around you. And you're making building blocks for your future. If I was a mean person, I'd tell you to just shut up. But I'm trying to be nice about this. So what I'm going to say to you is like, think before you speak. Don't just look at something and pop off a response, whether verbally or typing it out. Think about how your words are going to affect everything else, including how you feel. Because how I feel is what I'm going to pull toward me. And if I feel really awful, then I'm going to pull really not great things toward me. Okay. So, like I said at the beginning of the show, this is a back to basics show because I feel like people are forgetting. And I've been teaching the same thing for 12 years. And I feel like even some of my best students and myself, which I've been studying for 50 years, these principles, we forget. We forget that there's no just saying. We forget the power of our words. We forget that we're the author of the story. We forget that we have the pen. We're making it up. We're writing the narrative. You are the author of the story. I really, 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 really want this to sink in this morning because we're starting the second week of the year. And if things are not going the way you want them to, you have the ability to change that right now in this conversation. You can make a different decision and you can make some new habits. Okay. So the biggest thing that I can recommend to you is bookending your days. Again, we're back to basics. If you are new to the show, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I highly suggest you go take Prosperity 101. If you use the code SHOW, it'll give you 25% off, and you can find it from clicking the link. I will post that in the comments after the show is over too. Actually, my husband's upstairs. He could post it. John, will you post in what I'm saying that if they go to the link right here or the link in the bio, they can take Prosperity 101, get 25% off if they use the code SHOW, SHOW, in all capital letters. For those of you that don't know, my husband is John Capola. He's commenting here. He often does. We have a different last name that we are of one accord. Okay, so bookend your days. This means I wake up in the morning and I do not immediately grab my phone. It means I wake up in the morning and I have something that I do. I get a cup of coffee, I pray, I meditate, I do yoga, I journal, I think about how I want the day to go. I write that down for myself. I think about the top 3 things I have to do to make myself effective for the day. And then I proceed. Okay, I do not just wake up, put my feet on the floor, and immediately start the rhetoric of everything that's wrong in my world, or everything that didn't get done yesterday, or everything I'm making myself wrong for, or all the things I feel bad, like whatever. Stop doing that. And at night, give yourself some kind of a protocol, right? Give yourself some kind of like gratitude journal or planning for the next day or something. We call this comes from a Darren Hardy book called The Compound Effect, where he talks about bookending your days. And what this means is that you have a procedure for yourself in the morning and a procedure for yourself at night so that you remain in control of your day. Otherwise, you are just flinging all over the place like a ping pong ball, right? Also, the show, we're going to start to have a female guest once a month that's a business owner or somebody that has a side hustle that's going to tell and share their story. And I am also about to ask a couple of coaches that are friends of mine if they want to do once a month coaching roundtable where we'll take questions from you guys. So the show will get a little more interesting as we proceed into 2026. And if you are listening and you would like to be a guest on the show, you can email me. And you can find my contact info in the link below. And again, link is in the bio, link is on Instagram. Highly suggest you sign up for the masterclass on January 28th. Highly suggest you do Prosperity 101 if you haven't done it already. So what I would like to see you do for this week is really be conscious of your presence, your power, how you're showing up, what you're bringing to the world, how you are occurring in your own life. Are you coming from a place of strength? Are you coming from a place of peace? Or are you really just a reaction? Are you reacting to everything around you? Are you forgetting that you have the pen? Are you forgetting that you have power over your own story and over your own narrative? Because I feel like people are forgetting this. I feel like people are looking out at the world and thinking that they are at effect of what's happening. And the best thing that I can do as a response to what's happening in the world right now is to remind you that you have all the power over your own life. We cannot control what is happening outside of us. We can very much control how we respond to what's happening in the world and how we are responding to our own selves, how we are responding to the stimuli that's coming at us. We have all the power there. I know sometimes the world looks really wretched. I get it. I get it. And sometimes it seems easy to buy into some fear-based thinking that we have no control. What I know for sure after 57 years on the planet is I very much have control over me. And when I change the way that I'm looking at things and the way that I'm holding them and the way that I'm speaking about them, the circumstances around me change. And I am able to protect myself with my own peace and my own groundedness. And so I would encourage for all of you to remember that you are holding the pen. You are holding the pen in your own life. And nobody can take your peace away from you unless you let them. So don't let them. Don't let things steal your peace. There are catastrophic circumstances in life, right? There are catastrophic things that happen that we cannot control. We can very much control how we respond to those. We can very much control how we respond to those. Again, if you need help and support to keep a hold of yourself and remember that you're the author of your story, I have 3 suggestions for you. 1, come to the masterclass, which is free. 2, take Prosperity 101 if you haven't and use the code SHOW, SHOW, to save yourself 25%. And 3, join the free community on School, where there is a prosperity course that I teach live once a month for free. And there is a coaching accountability group that we do live once a month after the show for free. And then there'll be a second level of the community launching in February, which will include live coaching from me on a weekly basis. We'll talk about that more in the weeks to come. Everything that I'm talking about, you can find right there at the link that's on the screen. It's the Linktree link. You can also find it in the Facebook bio of the page, and you can find it in the Instagram bio. So if you just search the Working Strategist on Facebook or Instagram, you will find the link in the bio in both places, and you can find all the things in there. Priscilla's reminding us, she's backing up what I'm saying. Let nothing or no one steal your peace. Really, the most important thing that I can say this week to you guys, based on what's happening out there in the world, nothing can take your peace away from you unless you let it. And how things try to steal our peace is when we're doom scrolling or listening to the news or listening to other people who are steeped in negativity and all the things. Melissa, good morning. We have some new friends popping on this morning, you guys. So you are in control of you, okay? You are in control of you. You are in control of you. And Anastasia's reminding us that includes us. Our limiting thoughts steal our peace if we allow it. Absolutely. Here's the thing, okay? Like I said, this morning is back to basics. So to recap, you are the author of your story. This right here is a pen. You hold the pen to your life. You are writing the narrative. I don't care what is happening out in the world. If it's crumbling out there, it doesn't mean that you have to be crumbling over here. Okay? Like I said earlier in the show, which is inspired by actually my friend Melissa, who's now watching, connection. Connection is the key for 2026. Like, pull it back, start making it your business to be in relationship with other like-minded people. Get your connections, get your network. This is what's going to save us going into the future, is very much our own little bubble of community and network and helping each other, okay? This is, again, why I'm doing this free masterclass on January 28th, talking about your power, your presence, and how you're showing up in the world. As a woman, you've got to be intentional about how you show up, and you need to take your place at the table. Not only do you need to take your place at the table, you need to demand your place at the table in an elegant way. When I was coming up in business, I was playing a man's game in a man's world at the man's table, okay? I learned how to play the game, and I play it really well. And I want to teach other women how to show up in rooms and at tables and in your meetings, whether you're at the PTA, whether you're in your marriage, whether you own a company, whether you have a side project, whether you are a head of a department. You're showing up somewhere. You have a life. You show up. Let's make sure you're showing up with power and intention and presence. And let's teach you to be elegant and clear and concise and interested in others. That's the key. Connection is critical, right? Your connections and your relationships are critical. And let's make sure that you're as interested in others as you want them to be in you. Because nobody wants to be in relationship with someone who is egoic and only concerned for themselves, okay? Nobody wants that. All right? Here's what I want you to focus on this week. I want you to remember that your words are your wand. If, as Florence Scovel Shinn says, she's a writer from 1900, early 1900s. She's a prosperity teacher, a metaphysician, okay? I've studied all of her work. She's fabulous. Your words are your wand. This means that you are creating your life by what's coming out of your mouth. So stop gossiping, undermining, criticizing, belittling. Stop talking about what you don't want more of. Get a piece of duct tape and put it over your mouth if you have to make you really conscious of what you're saying. This is really important, especially right now, because there's so many things out there that want to distract you and draw your attention, and they're negative, and you don't want to go there. If you start going there, it's going to make you feel anxious and sad and like you have no control. That is not the truth. It's not the truth. You have ultimate control over how you feel. I have control over this. I can control this. I can draw lines in the sand. I can set boundaries. I can decide what's good for me and what isn't. I have the pen. You have the pen. What are you going to write? What the hell is your story going to look like for 2026? Don't let somebody take the pen and scribble on your paper. Don't let that happen. Be very intentional. Okay? Bookend your days, like I said. Be very intentional. This is why, again, I'm going to hit this again. I don't usually do this, but I think it's really important. I spent the summer recording a course called Prosperity 101. It gives you all the building blocks and basics, including workbooks and everything that you need to get a hold of yourself and your mindset and start the year off really strong. You can find it at the link here. And if you use the code SHOW, SHOW, in all capital letters, they'll save you 25%. The course is super reasonably priced. It's $97 and you'll save 25%. It's worth you taking it, okay? So, and because it will help you, it will give you tools. I'm all about giving you the tools. I can bring you to the water. I can't make you drink it. Okay, I'm giving you all the tools. I've spent the last 12 years giving you tools. I'll spend the rest of my life here on the planet giving you the tools. You've got to use them. You have to you have to uncap the pen and you have to write on the paper of your life. And don't let someone scribble on your paper. Don't let someone take your pen. Okay? Don't do that. Bookend your days. Start your day out in a place of strength. Finish your day in a place of strength. Be really intentional when you set up your day. And I highly suggest making time for connecting with others every single week in 2026. I had 14 calls this week, and 5 or 6 of them were connection calls, and the rest of them were clients. So I highly suggest making time for others. I have created a calendar link to share with people that I want to be connected to so that they can connect with me. Strengthen your relationships with others. Be interested in others and share with them. That is where your strength is also going to come from. Your strength is going to come from your connectedness with like-minded women and like-minded people. We do have some men watching the show, including my husband. Like-minded people. Get around like-minded people. I have a free community. There are about 50 of us in there, and it's growing every day. We are all like-minded. I am in there every morning talking and giving inspo, and people are commenting and all the things. So I highly suggest, if you can't figure out how to get a hold of yourself and you need help and support, some of my best students are in that community, and they're willing to help you as well. And it's free. It's on school. It's free. Go to the link right here and you can find it. It says join the free community on one of the tabs. Okay, here's your assignment for this week, because I'm going over and you know I don't like to do that. I would love for you to make a protocol for yourself for the morning. Bookend your days. Get a hold of yourself. Be intentional when you wake up in the morning. Don't just be at the mercy of the stimuli around you. Decide what you're going to pay attention to. Be intentional. And at the end of the day, be intentional. Gratitude, planning for the next day, paying attention. Okay? And I'm challenging you, if you choose to accept it, make 5 connections this week. Reach out to 5 people, have a coffee, a lunch, a phone call, Don't just text. Don't just email. Make a connection, a Zoom connection, an in-person connection, whatever. Okay? Be intentional. Be intentional with your words, be intentional with your actions, and be intentional in your concern for others. And I'd love for you to join us in the school community if you'd like. All right, I will see you guys next Saturday. Have a fantastic week. Remember that you hold the pen. Pay attention to your words. I'll see you soon.